backlash, and specifically was talking about Ray Rice and basically Greg Hardy. I feel like Ray Rice did a horrible thing. I don't condone any kind of violence against women, and as I said, I think that it's a punk move when a man puts his hand on a woman. But he has done a lot of things since that incident to kind of basically apologize. He's done all types of public service announcements, community service. He speaks a lot of things that don't get publicized. He's been doing since the incident happened. And he and his then fiance are now married. She's forgiven him. They moved on. And before the incident, Ray Rice was a good guy. Like, he was pretty much known as a good guy without any kind of issues like this in the past. And he made a mistake, and he admits he made a mistake. Whereas someone like Greg Hardy, who just seems like he's not remorseful at all for the things that he's done, and people that know about the Greg Hardy situation, he had a very serious domestic violence incident as well, but his was it actually got thrown out of court because the young lady that he had that the assault occurred on, he basically paid her a large sum of money. I've heard anywhere from $5 million to $10 million as a financial settlement so that she wouldn't press charges. And a lot of times the police will go ahead and the DA will go forward with the case even if they don't have cooperation from the victim, but for some reason they didn't go forward with it. So his basically got expunged from his record. But after going through that and after pictures surfaced of the injuries that he inflicted upon this young lady, he still ended up signing with the Dallas Cowboys, and basically coming out the day after he got reinstated, saying that he was going to come out guns blazing. Now, this is somebody who threw a woman on a bed full of assault rifles, and he comes out saying he's going to come out gun blazing. Now, whether he was doing playing with the media or whether he didn't realize what he said, I think he realized what he said, but that's just what type of person does that after you just get charged with something. You need to try to repair your image or whatever if you care about things like that. But obviously it doesn't seem like he cares about his image. And then he's talking about going to the Pro Bowl so he can look at other players' wives and things like that. It's just not the kind of thing you want to do after being charged with such a serious crime. And I feel like he's allowed to go out, play every week, do his thing, while Ray Rice is still waiting to get on a team 2 years later. And it's just like, it just seems like the NFL is not being very consistent with their punishment of players who have similar incidents, domestic violence incidents. And it's like, we just want some kind of consistency with the punishment and the backlash and things that go on. So that's in a nutshell what the article is about.
So let me ask you, Ben. I mean, you've heard us talk about this on the show, and my stance really is the NFL is not an arbitrator of people's conduct. I don't think they should be, and they put themselves in a position to be. So do you think that either Ray Rice should have been allowed to play and should be back in the NFL, and the NFL shouldn't be an arbitrator of conduct, or that the NFL should be an arbitrator of conduct and neither one of them should be allowed to play?
Personally, I feel like everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone makes mistakes. So I feel as though one mistake, serve your punishment, do your suspension, pay your fine, and come back. That's how I feel. I feel like if you're a habitual offender or you do something that's just so heinous, we're not talking like Aaron Hernandez type stuff, but I mean, somebody that does something where you can actually come back from that. I believe that they should be allowed to play as long as they have learned from their mistake, rehabilitated themselves, and don't get in trouble again. That's how I feel about it.
Okay,
I completely agree.
Yeah, I tend to buy into the same concept. What I'm most interested in instead of the NFL spending so much effort to throw these guys under the bus in so many different ways for their conduct not on the field, I don't understand why the NFL, as well as many other people, aren't helping these gentlemen out. We have everything from issues with gambling, a la Johnny Manziel. We have issues with violence towards women with Greg Hardy. We have the weird stuff from Alden Smith. Why doesn't the NFL spend more effort into possibly taking a look at things like the CTE results of these things? Because violence is very much a symptom of a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. And those kinds of like volatilities and craziness in one nature is very common of disabilities inside of your mental health to regulate as a regular human being and an individual. It's already tough being, an overly testosterone, raging machine on the football field, but to blend that with regular life and mental health issues, I think honestly sometimes the NFL is missing the boat here, and I kind of want to ask: do you agree with that assessment, or am I the only one who seems to have this concept or idea in my head?
No, I definitely agree with that, and I think that we'll find out even more once. If you heard that Lawrence Phillips, who was found dead in his jail cell this week, his family's donated his brain for them to test and see if he had CTE as well, because he had tremendous anger issues, and 3 months ago or 4 months ago he killed his cellmate. He was awaiting trial for murdering his cellmate, and before that he had written his mother and told her that he was going to either hurt himself or hurt somebody, and a couple of weeks later he killed his cellmate, and then now it looks like he killed himself. So I feel like, they definitely should spend more time. They spent enough time saying that it wasn't an issue. Now that they realize that it is an issue, they really need to spend some time, effort, and money to get to the root causes of these things. And Troy Vincent, I think Troy Vincent is I don't know what his title is, but he's one of the player representative, and I think he's only been in his post for a short time. I think he needs to do a lot more with getting more research on how they can prevent these things from happening, and if it is a consequence of the trauma that these players experience. Because it's really seemingly getting out of control, and I don't think you're far off base at all with how you feel, Nash.
All right. Matt, did you have any follow-up questions or anything else that's kind of like sitting in the back of your mind at this point that you'd like to ask Ben Morrell of jockjournal.com?
No, I'm super grateful. That was hey, thank you so much for being on the show. You obviously write a ton of great articles that really help us to think about the different side of the NFL and bring up some good points, and we're lucky to have you. So thanks so much for being on the show.
Ben, before we let you go,
no problem at all.
Do you have? Can you tell everybody where they can find you, or how maybe somebody might be able to get a hold of you if they'd like to correspond with you, maybe do an interview or reach out to you in any other way?
Definitely. You can actually follow me at Ben BEN _ Morrall MORALL, and I'm on Facebook.com at Ben Morrall BEN MORALL. Just reach out to me, and I'm here for you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been an extremely good opportunity for us to talk to you. I've been dying for this opportunity actually for some time. I've seen you in the chat rooms, and I've come to really respect you as a person, as well as the humor that you also have. So don't, guys, everybody out there listening, go check out his articles. He's got some funny crap to read that's just absolutely hilarious. So there's a lot of good content, a lot of good work from this writer. It's definitely worth going over to jockjournal.com and taking a look at his stuff. Thank you so much for the interview tonight, and we'll have you on again very shortly. In fact, Ben, let me just go ahead and ask: are you ever interested in the possibility of doing your own radio show? Because you have the ability to do this, I believe.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's definitely something that's been in my mind. So yeah, I would definitely have some interest in doing that.
Well, let me talk to you some other time off the air, off the line. We'll figure out kind of the logistics of it. If you work nights, we'll see about possibly putting you on for like an hour after the sports drive or something like that.
Okay. Sounds good, Nash.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Have a good night.
You too.
That was Ben Morrell of JockJournal.com. Matt, great interview.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, he really knows his stuff, so that was good. And people don't hate me, so I didn't advocate beating your wife, and so that was good. I feel like I made some friends tonight.
Yeah, I don't have 18 emails telling me that Matt sucks tonight. It's weird.
I honestly feel like I've let people down. So I don't think Ray Rice did anything wrong. I think he should be let into the NFL. I think Greg Hardy, who doesn't throw their girlfriend on a bed of AKs, I don't see anything wrong with that either. So more power to both of those guys.
I could totally see you. You're like, look, Ray Rice may have hit the woman, but he didn't hit her nearly as hard as she hit herself on the way down on that little ledge in the elevator. We all saw it. So any marks, they're from that. Jeez, why is people giving him such a hard time?
One thing that does kind of stick in my teeth a little bit, like that piece of something you just can't get out, is no one's talking about, what these women said to really invoke this kind of a wrath. I mean, who knows? Maybe they both have huge mouths and they can't keep them quiet.
See, there you go, Matt. You just did it. Everybody already hating you.
I felt like the show wasn't complete unless we got a couple emails about what a bastard I am. So figured I'd throw that in there.
You're doing a great job there, Matt. Everybody appreciates your unsympathy towards scandalous women. But you know what? It is that time again, and we have to close up. I guess before we do close up, so we've talked about violence to women, and we've talked about Tom Brady. I know normally these things don't match up, but I'd make Tom Brady my bitch and slap him around. What about you, Matt?
No, I'm not even going to go there. Sean Mahan would, though, definitely. Did you hear the way that he was giggling like a schoolgirl when we brought up Brady?
Oh, my God.
Really was. He was like, he. Good one.
He couldn't.
When you were talking about Brady, he was really like giggling like a schoolgirl. Like you were talking about someone he had a crush on. It was a little creepy. I like Sean. He does a great radio show. Tune in and listen to their show during the day, but that creeped me out a little bit.
He is a very big Brady fan, and we totally saw that, as he could not even follow the assignment of trying to tell us how Peyton Manning had the ability of possibly winning the biggest game of his life. And would you agree with that assessment that this is his biggest game ever?
Brady?
No. Peyton Manning.
Yeah, definitely. If it doesn't happen now, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
And he's doing it literally with all the world against him at this point. I'm kind of rooting for him.
I don't think they're going to win anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I am Nash.
And I'm Matt.
And you're listening to NFL Talk. Have a nice night, and we will catch you tomorrow. The War Room will be on, so we'll catch you then.
That was NFL Talk Late Night from Jock Journal with the biggest morons in the country. If you aren't asleep already, it might be time to get to bed. However, I'm sure most of you are still looking for me on AshleyMadison.com.